The U.S. military says a Russian fighter jet struck a U.S. drone over the Black Sea. The U.S. European Command says an MQ-9 drone was conducting surveillance when a Russian warplane struck the propeller. It caused American forces to bring down the unmanned vehicle. Russia says the drone maneuvered sharply and crashed into the water following an encounter with its fighter jets, but denies firing weapons or contacting the drone. And for more on this, I'm joined by Major General David Fraser, CTV military analyst and former commander of NATO forces in southern Afghanistan. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Great to be with you tonight, Scott.
Let's start with this collision itself. What do we know about what the drone was likely doing over the Black Sea, and was this act likely intentional in your mind?
Well, first of all, the drone was collecting intelligence, probably looking into Ukraine and probably looking into the Black Sea about what are the Russian forces doing. It was operating in international waters. It is disputed by what Russia says, but can't believe anything what Russia says. The fact that the Russian jets were monitoring it is just part of the game. The fact that they were dropping fuel on it was ridiculous. The fact that they got so close that they actually hit the propeller with their plane is completely unprofessional, irresponsible, and reckless, which actually caused the crash of the drone. So this is quite a dumb move by the Russians.
Yeah, quite a scenario of events for this to happen. Is the Black Sea a hotspot for tension between Russia and NATO?
Absolutely. I mean, the Russians believe that the Black Sea is all theirs, but international rules and law would say it's international territory. And so for people to transit the airways there, they're not inside of Ukraine. It's not inside Russian territorial airspace, which is normally about 12 miles. But so this is normal for the operations that have been going on since the beginning of the war, that yes, the Americans would have systems up there monitoring the area. Russians would probably be monitoring those systems and vice versa. But what we saw today was a provocation, an irresponsible act by a Russian pilot.
And just from the outside looking in, it would seem Russia is taking a deliberate act of aggression, but their response has been to deny it. What's the game plan here, and what kind of position does this now put the U.S. in?
Well, the Russians' immediate action of anything is to deny. It's hard to deny the fact that their plane hit this thing, and there's indications that there is video coverage of this incident, but the Pentagon is yet to release. The Americans are going to be politically protesting. They already have to the Russian ambassador, but they're going to be careful not to escalate this into a conflict between the two nations. It will be a war of words, and probably an interview with the Russian ambassador without the T, to tell them to back off and play by the rules. So we shouldn't expect anything more from this other than just a bunch of words exchanged.
Yeah, and so on that note, what does this all mean in the greater context of Russia's invasion of Ukraine?
Well, it's not going to deter the United States from collecting intelligence and probably passing that along to the Ukrainians. It's just going to accelerate and accentuate what the West is doing to support the Ukraine where they can, and just to illustrate just how inept the Russians are at prosecuting any type of operations, because it's one thing to survey the other side's capability, but to do what they did today is just it is really amateurish.
All right, we'll have to leave it at that. Major General David Fraser, CTV military analyst and former commander of NATO forces in southern Afghanistan. Thanks so much for your time and insight tonight.
Scott, thank you.
Thank you.